I really loved it. Like, I don't know if it's because I was already into like softwares with the graphic design and everything, but you know, I could spend hours there.
Isabel Soto, so nice to have you here. Thank you so much for your time.
Same. Thanks for having me.
You come from Venezuela,
Yes. Born and raised.
born and raised, but you're in Berlin. And Canada came in between.
Yes. For a long time.
Yeah? How was Canada?
Yes. It was very nice. I had an amazing experience. Yeah. And I moved there when I was, it was in 2012, and I spent there 12 years. I mean, 10 kind of. I mean, it was 12 years in total, but for almost 2 years I was traveling here in Europe. But yeah, it was an amazing experience in Montreal.
And what brought you there?
The situation in Venezuela was starting to get a bit bad, and usually when you like finish school or university, you go for like a year and you know explore another country, study something. So I did that. I finished university and then I went to Montreal for a year. And my brother was living there back then. Now he's in Toronto, so it was like easy, you know, because I mean easy in a way because I had someone there.
Of course.
And my sister also used to live there, and she told me amazing things about Montreal. So I was like, okay, why not? So I went for a year and I stayed.
That's cool. And 12 years is quite a long time.
Yeah. No, I love that city. Like, I think, yeah, it helped me grow a lot. And I think I wouldn't be the person I'm right now. I mean, not without living in that city, but with all the experiences I had after I moved there by myself.
Any memorable experience you want to share?
All the music journey started there, you know, like I never thought I would like be DJing or like making music. Yeah.
So there was this one club where you wanted to go?
Not really, but it's this one club where like changed my life. It's basically the one and only techno club in Montreal. It's called Stereo. Not many people know about this club, but the people that know about it, they know how special it is. It took me, I mean, I moved to Montreal in 2012 and I went to this club in 2016. So it took me a long time to reach this club, even if I was living in the city. But I was not really into techno. I was like really into music, and music there is huge. Like art is very big. So I started going to a lot of events and like exploring different kind of electronic music artists and events until, you know, I ended up going to this club and then everything started. So yeah.
And then you moved to Berlin.
I moved to Berlin. It's been 8 months.
Yeah? How is it so far?
Very good. Very good. A lot of things to process, you know, a lot of things happening, and yeah, but very good, very good.
It's quite intense, no?
Yes, you know, it can be overwhelming. Like also compared to the life I had in Montreal, it was more relaxed, less things to do, or like less people to see, or less just stuff in general. It was slower rhythms.
It's because you go out too much.
Not that much. I'm going out more now in Berlin, going out more. But, you know, it's the city, you know, it's important. You meet the people, in Montreal, I didn't have all these like clubs or like artists that you can see every weekend. So I'm like, okay, because Montreal I wasn't really going out that much anymore, just like certain things. But here it's like, okay, like it has also value to my career to like go out and experience these things that there we don't have.
Yeah, the fun meets the professional side of your life.
Yeah.
How is that so far? Like to mix both?
I mean, it's going well. I think like if I moved to Berlin, I don't know, maybe 6 years ago, would have been a bit harder because I was not like, I mean, when I started DJing, I kind of slowed down the partying. Like I started seeing it like more like, you know, it's a job. I had to like kind of unlink the fun from the job. So I feel like if I moved to Berlin like 5 years ago, that I was still not there like completely like finding the balance between the fun and the job, because at the end, you know, going out and DJing is fun, but you gotta find the balance when you're actually the DJ or the artist. So now when I moved to Berlin, that was already like imbalance, you know. Like I'm telling you, I didn't used to go out that much anymore in Montreal. So here is not being harder to find the balance, but harder to have my routine. Like for example, here I go to bed later some days. You know, the clubs here go the whole weekend. In Montreal at 3 a.m., I was at home basically every weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, the clubs they're open from 10 to 3 a.m.
Yeah.
except for this stereo club that is the only after hours in Montreal. It actually opens at 12. It used to open at 2 a.m. until 10 or longer. But after COVID, it started opening at 12, and I think it goes now until 8 a.m. Maybe a bit longer if the artists want to stay. But yeah, the lifestyle here is very different. But I think finding my balance with the routine, especially because the balance like between professional and fun is there, but the routine is still like, you know, some days I'm like, I don't know, the days goes by and like you don't even realize time here is like
Doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist.
No. There's
Doesn't
something
exist.
strange here.
So, but yeah, I'm finding the balance with the routine, not routine thing.
Tell me more about that.
That.
What does your routine look like?
Well, it depends on the day. Also here, I'm trying to, I mean, it's something that I've been doing since like 2 years ago, that I'm not going to details, but I had like a big accident. And after that, I started learning to like live literally day by day. Like a lot of times we say, yeah, I live in the present, I live day by day, but we're really just thinking in the future. And I feel like Berlin is a place that really also like motivates me or like push me to live day by day, because literally any day like anything can happen here. You know, it's like one day you can meet someone on the street and your whole day change, you know. Like, so, but I try, for example, you know, I keep myself active every week with production. Even if some days it doesn't, something doesn't come up, I still like to like sit down if I have the time and space. Because before I used to like be doing it like every day, like I was like every day I need to get in Ableton. And now that I'm here and that life is also a bit busier and I'm playing more than I used to in Montreal, I'm like, okay, if I don't produce for 1 week or 2, it's okay. But that's something that I try to like have weekly, and I also do like a weekly to-do list. Sometimes if I have a lot of things in 1 week, I can make a to-do list by day, and it can be like small things, you know, like I don't know, anything. But yeah, that helps me, you know, like having my like a list for the week with like things that I had to get done that week, so it doesn't go to the other week. But in terms of routine, I'm not really having one anymore. I go like, you know, what goes through the day. There are essential things that I like doing in my day to like for example, like doing yoga, or I like writing. You know, I wake up in the morning and I write, you know, anything, things I'm grateful for, things I want to achieve, or like the to-do list. So that's actually something I started doing a lot in Corona, like writing. It helps a lot. To just put your thoughts there, you know, anything, like wake up in the morning, fresh mind, and write anything, and that helps a lot.
I did it for quite a long time. Also, like I kind of like changed to kind of digital formats. Here's ChatGPT to put all the thoughts together. Like it really helps. So like to sort everything out. But it helps.
Yeah.
It helps a lot.
The notes on the iPhone. Yeah.
Yes, too. Also like to develop projects and like to collect all the information, so like for the future. You never know.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I had a few, like I can imagine it happens to you as well. When you write things down and then you realize, okay, hey, I already had this idea like 6 months ago, like 2 years ago, and then you put them together and like something cool comes out of it.
And then when you like, you know, mark it down that it's done, it feels good, you know.
100%. Yeah, then it's out of your mind. So it's kind of free.
Yeah. So writing down the things that I want to do helps a lot. But yeah, in terms of routine, like I said, it's still like there.
I mean, you're still fresh in Berlin. Enjoy. There's a lot of information, so
Yes.
take it easy. Probably gonna stay a few years, so it's fine.
Yes.
Take it easy. The city is overwhelming.
Yes.
In
a good way.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Let's hope you're not gonna see the bad ways too well. So it can be the winter is here now, so that's a good challenge.
Yes.
But you arrived when earlier this year?
March.
In March,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
So it was
spring.
yeah. Yeah. Cold is fine. Like I'm used to the cold because of Montreal was really cold. And here it doesn't snow that much. So because in Montreal it was snow like
Do you
every
like snow?
day. I mean, it's beautiful. It's nice, you know. Wake up and see everything white, but there, you know, after 5 months, every day you're like, I don't want more snow.
But here it's just gray and
But
cold.
here, yeah, that's the thing here. Like, there's not much light. I think in Montreal we used to get more sun. Even if it was super cold, you will get light. So let's see.
Get your vitamin C's and
Yes,
D, and
yes, I
that's gonna
started
help.
already.
That's gonna help. What are you currently working on these days?
My main focus right now is my label.
Mhm.
Like it's a project that started mostly like an experiment, like just me wanted to put something out there. Like I started with actually a podcast series because the big idea was always a label, but I didn't know how to start. Like I was like waiting for the right people to do it with, or while waiting, I was not doing anything. So then at some point, I went to Colombia. And I don't know, there I got super inspired and I went back to Montreal and I was like, I'm gonna start something. So I started with podcast series and then slowly it developed. It took me like a year to do the first release. And now I actually stopped the podcast series because I was like, I'm doing it on my own. So I was like, I mean, I want to focus on the
The right
label and
things.
put all the energy on the label. And it's just, you know, slowly growing, but I'm getting a lot of like good feedback from people liking what I'm releasing, and I'm creating like my own. I don't know, it's like my own little adventure, you know, and like releasing the artists that I like, and you know, the music that I play, and that's the main goal at the moment, to expand that. I did, and I do. It's been almost 3 years that I have the label, and I do one BA per year. And with that, I mean, the first one was in CD and cassette because I wanted to do something like a little bit more special. And the second one was only CD. And now the third one is coming and it's going to be also CD. And this one is actually very special because it's only by women producers. Because that's also something that I want to kind of achieve with the label, to release more women. And it's a bit harder. But I was like, okay, at least, because so far I was not able to release one EP from a woman. And I released one split with a friend of mine, and it was both of us. But other than that, I don't have only like BAs. But so I was like, okay, this year also I couldn't. I mean, it didn't happen that to release like a female artist. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna do the next BA like just women, so at least like have something of what is actually the one of the goals with the label. Slowly, I know it will get more
It
to
takes
that.
time and persistence and a lot of hard work.
Yeah. So at the moment, I'm working on that release. I'm missing just 3 tracks, but the ones I have are
Really
really
good?
good.
Perfect.
Really excited. I already like tested some and
They work?
found it nice. Yes.
Yeah? Yeah, send them over.
Yes.
We'll love
We'll
to hear
do.
them.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, pretty much that. And then for next year, I also want to do the first release on vinyl. Because I was also that I was like kind of waiting to be based in Europe to do that, because in Canada, with the shipping and everything, it was a bit more complicated. So that's something that's also on the works for next year. But also no rush. Like I'm going with the flow, with everything, with my career, with my label. Like I said, one day at a time. But yeah, that's like my baby at the
Take your
moment.
time, yeah. And next year you have your first festival coming up.
Yes. It's very exciting.
Wanna
I
tell more?
can't say much about it. But yeah, it's gonna be this summer, and I'm very excited because I mean I haven't played festivals in Europe at all. And in Montreal, I played 2 festivals, and it's a very different experience, but it's something that I definitely want to experience here. Also, here festivals are like massive, you know. So not only in size for people, but just like
It's a big culture.
yeah.
Like in the Netherlands, they have like 200 festivals between May and September. It's
Yeah.
madness. Not only about club culture, like also about many other things, food, tulips, whatever. But yeah, it's crazy. Like every
Yeah.
weekend you can go on a festival if you want to.
Yeah, it's very big here.
Welcome to
This year
Europe.
I didn't go to any because I mean I'm just landing. But yeah, I haven't been to many festivals in my life. So it's something I'll like to experience here.
And you still have to produce.
Yes.
How did you start?
Well, it was in Corona actually. I mean, I started like 2 months before the lockdown. I got my first controller. I mean, my only controller. But yeah, first time I got like something to play. And it was like in December 2019, and then in 2020 they locked us down. And I mean, from December to March, I didn't really try it out. I got it once I came to travel in Europe for almost 2 years on my own, and I went to all these events and festivals. I was like, okay, like this is completely different, and that's where I said, like, okay, like I want to try this. Like it was already a passion, but not as a DJ or as a producer. It was like going to event and taking photos and doing flyers or like covers for podcasts. And then I was like, okay, like I want to try this.
The more, yeah. So it influenced it somehow.
Definitely. And then I went back to Montreal, and it took me like a year to like rebalance again, because after traveling 2 years, I went back to like no job, like no savings, no nothing. So then I got the controller when I was like, okay, now I want to try this. And then, like I said, I didn't try much. Then they locked us down, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this. And to be honest, at the beginning, I didn't get it so much. I was like a bit bored. Like, okay, I put a track, I put another track. And then I started taking production classes. And that's where everything changed, because I mean, learning, actually production helped me also get more creative in DJing and like actually mixing, like. And so I took classes the whole COVID year. Like for 1 year, I was taking classes 2 hours per week. And the rest of the week I was still enabled because I had nothing to do. And I really loved it. Like, I don't know if it's because I was already into like softwares with the graphic design and everything, but I could spend hours there just like checking stuff.
Playground,
and,
yeah,
like,
sure. Get addictive.
Yeah. So then, after that 1 year, then everything started happening. Things started opening, and then I started getting gigs and stuff, and the releases started, and then it just didn't stop. And I'm here.
And how do you keep being creative like all the time? How do you stick to that? I don't want to say creative routine, but like how do you live this creation like every day?
Well, sometimes it's not there, the creativity, and I just embrace it and let the day pass. But traveling is something that definitely keeps me inspired. Even before before DJing, like I always loved traveling, and meeting new people, seeing new places, new landscapes, like nature. Nature inspires me a lot. So even if I don't have the chance to go to, I don't know, a mountain in a weekend, if I don't know, see, I don't know, a movie or something that brings me to a nature place, I instantly get inspired. And interesting conversations with people that you meet, also keeps me super inspired. And listening to other artists, like it can be, DJing or productions. But yeah, keeping myself like, feeding myself with things like conversations, like places and music, and yeah.
Do you write all these ideas down? Like, what's your creative process? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, sometimes I write things down, but not really. Like, for example, when I'm gonna make music, I never plan a track. When I try to plan something, and
Doesn't work.
completely the other way. So I've never been able to plan like I'm gonna make this EP like this. I could have some ideas and inspiration, but I just sit down and see what happens. And sometimes nothing happens. And then I sit down the next day, and then it's like very like on with the flow. Like it depends also how I'm feeling. Like I feel like whenever I make music, it really goes with my emotions. Like the track that I make or that whatever I'm gonna create is gonna depend on how I feel that week, that day, like what I did, like. So yeah.
Can you influence this creative process by putting yourself into some conditions, like the food you eat, the sleep you get, the music you hear before?
Yes, definitely. That's something that, for example, regarding the not having a routine, like for example, the sleep routine is something that I do try to keep. Even here in Berlin, it's a bit harder, but I do need my sleep. And so let's say even if I don't sleep one night, at the time that I wanted to sleep, I try to catch up and sleep my 6 hours after, whenever I get home or whatever. So far, I have no trouble sleeping, so I can sleep anytime. So that's something that definitely helps me also to have like my mind clear for many things, and especially for creating I need to be rested, you know, like. But yeah, the food I eat, definitely. That's something I also try to keep, like, you know, stay healthy with that. Like, I don't eat meat, for example. And I was vegan for like 6 months to just try it out. So it didn't work out that much. But I try to eat like good food because this, I feel, is like your daily medicine as well. Or like I don't drink sodas, or like I also don't drink alcohol. Sometimes, you know, I can have a shot with like a cheer, like with an intention, or a drink with an intention. But it's not that I go out and like drink
That's
with
nice.
it, because everything you put in your body is
There's an influence,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah. If you eat like junk food every day, you might feel tired, you know, and like don't not be able to produce or do things. So yeah, the food you eat,
It's the fuel.
the food, the things you watch also, like social media. I stopped opening that many stories because I see things that I don't want to see, and it's like information that goes in your head, and yeah,
It takes
it affects.
space and time. And how do you deal with your social media? Yeah.
Well, that's also something I'm like in the works. 'Cause it also depends on the day, you know, because if there's I don't know, a week that I don't have much to share, or like, you know, I feel like I can be more detached from it. But if I have a release coming, or a podcast coming, or a gig, or anything, then you kind of gotta be there, you know, and promote yourself and post your things. And I try to keep it as organic as possible, and like post whenever I have actually something to share, you know, and like a release, a podcast. Um, and I try to stay active on the stories, because I see sometimes I spend 3 days without putting a story, and then I put one and it has no reach. So I try to like, because I still don't understand how it works, like the algorithm, or and it's not something I want to get too much on it, because it's already taking a lot of space. So I try to do it organically, like, and sometimes it reaches a lot of people, sometimes it doesn't, and but I try to be like active as much as possible. Even if I don't have like a release or a podcast every week, I try to give something to, you know, to my socials, and share something related to music that keep the
Yeah,
the
the machine working.
yeah
100%. But nowadays it can change your life in a
yeah.
good way. Like
Oh
it
yeah,
has a
definitely.
lot of positive sides as well.
Yeah, yeah. It
Before
does.
the podcast, I hated it. That's why I started it. I was like, okay, how can we reconnect people, especially after Corona? And
Yeah.
that's why we're sitting here. And it works. So I'm glad you're here.
Me too.
What are the other struggles you've faced over the last months or years?
Okay, one thing is that, for example, that is actually something I don't like that much from social media, is that you're accessible to anyone, literally. So, you know, before I would like, if I message an artist and they don't reply, I would like take it personal, or, oh, why is this artist not replying to me? But you know, since I moved here, and like since I'm playing like bigger clubs and stuff, I'm getting way more messages and things. And the fact that you are accessible to everyone doesn't mean that you have to reply right away, or that you even have to reply. And that's something I try to reply to as many people as I can, but that's something I've been working on myself to like, don't stress, because just seeing that you got a message, for me, it's like, I have to reply. And it's like, no, relax. The fact that, you know, you got the message doesn't mean that you have to reply right away, or that you have to reply to like, you know, very random comments or questions. So that's something I've been struggling the past months, but I think I'm handling it better. And to not feel bad with myself, you know, it's like,
Of course. Do you know there's a Instagram page, There Is No Guest List?
yes.
I think it's a pretty good example of what kind of things that you can get
Yes.
these days. Did you have some of these? Can I find you on there?
No, no,
No, not yet.
no. No, but yeah, I've got many, many messages like that. And even like, you know, people are like offering money for guest list. I'm like, what?
This whole guestless things is such a theme, especially here in Berlin.
Yeah. But yeah, as long as I also now understand sometimes people put in, guestless clothes. Before I would be like, oh, like why? Now I get it. It's like I get it. So yeah, I can't judge. I mean, I wouldn't say that I was judging, but I was like so rude, guestless clothes. Like I get it, like you're too accessible at the moment, like with all the social media. So
As you said, like the impact of like how many messages you can get every day, just like having to deal with them and just like sort it out somehow.
yeah,
Can be very stressful.
yeah. That's the only thing that I would say that has been stressing me lately, especially since I moved to Berlin. And other than that, I would say like for me, like for example, I moved to Berlin in March, and I played in Berlin 6 times. That for me is already like a lot to process, So I also been struggling with like processing things, digesting things to like, because sometimes things happen so fast in this city that then you're like, at some point you're like, okay, wait, I have to chill and relax and like process everything that just happened. And so that's what I'm learning how to do with, to process things faster.
What do you do to do that? I struggle with this. I clearly don't.
Well, I guess you spend, I mean, I love spending time on my own, but I guess spending more time on my own, like, just like meditating helps. I used to meditate way more like during Corona, but meditating helps a lot. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and the first thing I do, sometimes I don't even get out of bed, but I meditate in bed, and that helps me, like you like process things. But I think just like being like calm and like trying to feel the things that are happening to you, because sometimes important things happen and you're like running with the rhythm of life or of Berlin, and then at some point you gotta like sit down and chill and relax and process like what actually happened. Or I think more like stop for a bit, stop, sit down and relax.
And enjoy life.
Enjoy shit.
I will try.
Yeah, no, things here goes faster. I mean, I don't think things go faster, but
You clearly do.
it's the amount of things you get to do in a period of time is what makes time
It's so much
feels
input.
faster. Yeah, and I think here there's too many things happening all the time. It's good. It keeps you like moving, and like motivated. But yeah, sometimes you have to like sit down and like
Enjoy, realize, breathe.
Not do much for some time and just.
And let's see where it brings us. What are your plans for the future?
Good question. But I mean, for now, the next few years, I'm gonna stay here in Berlin and expand my career here as much as I can, expand my label also as much as I can, and get to know people to know myself more here in Europe. Expand my label. NYXII Records is the name. Like I mentioned before, the upcoming BA that is just a woman producers, and it's gonna be on CD. I'm very looking forward to that release. Yes, next year in the works to release the first vinyl. On the long term, I also want to do showcases, but let's see. Like I said, with the flow, no rush, one step at a time. But yeah, the CD is coming, vinyl's coming, and let's see what else is coming.
Absolutely perfect. So if you want to know a little bit more about Isabel, I'll let you check out the links in the description. Follow for more, ring that bell, you know the drill.